Hi guys, hi. This is Eva from Behind Med Spa. So let's see who is going to come on today. We're going to have a very interesting subject. Okay, I will do recording here. Welcome to my live chat. Sure, welcome to my live chat. I'm just looking around and seeing that people are going to come. But the subject that I'm going to talk about today is really very interesting, and a lot of people don't understand the correlation. Why you have ingrown hairs and you have also dark dots on your skin? What is the correlation between the two? To those of you who don't know me, so my name is Eva Taub, and I've been treating black skin for over 40 years in America. Before I came to America, I specialized in black skin care. I specialize in unwanted hair, in Hashimoto high disease, in hormonal imbalances, PCOS, endometriosis, anything and everything that pertains to human body, to pertains to black women, in particular, of course, white women. I'm white, I treat white skin, but particularly pertains to black skin and black women. This is where I come into play, and this is my forte. This is what I do. This is how I treat black skin over 40 years. So in my Miami Beach location, so in my Noonan Atlanta location. So I want to bring to your attention the two things that do happen when you treat black skin. Just a second, I'm just trying to make this a little light because I think that I am a little darker. Okay, maybe this is better. Okay. So why do you have dark dots and dark spots on your face at the same time that you also have unwanted facial hair? And particularly in black and dark Hispanic skin color. So here is the correlation. Here's what happens. When the human hair on a black person tries to come out and it tries to break through the skin, and it cannot break through the skin, there are several scenarios. So the first scenario is it tries to come out, and that is for black women and that is for black men. Hi everybody that is live, I can't see you, I just see by the numbers. So thank you for coming. So when the hair grows out, when the hair comes, hi Sahil Orki. So when the hair comes, hi Alikan, hi. So when the hair comes out on dark skinned people, in particular in black people, the hair is curly. And many times, you're from, okay, hello, Ala Wasala Habibi. And so when hair tries to come out, and in black people in particular, the hair curls up. And when the hair curls up and it cannot break through the skin, now it goes under the skin. And when it goes under the skin, it actually causes inflammation. It causes inflammation under the skin. And once you create inflammation, that's just one of the causes, then your skin, in simplistic way, there's inflammation, in simplistic way to people that don't understand it, like, and I don't want to break it down in medical terms, but in simplistic way, there's inflammation, there is a wound, there is a problem. Now, if you have this condition and the hair grows under the skin, here is what happens. The message is basically going from the wound to the brain, say, brain, I have a problem, I have a wound here, what am I going to do? Brain sends messages to melanin, says, melanin, go and protect the skin. Now, melanin is not a very sophisticated, very intelligent entity, so melanin will push color. Melanin by itself is actually a protective mechanism for the human body from the prehistoric times. So we all have melanin at the different levels. So a black person will have a lot of melanin, an African person will have even more melanin, a Middle Eastern Arab person will have melanin but less than a black person, a white person, a Western European person or Italian person will have more melanin than, let's say, a Scandinavian person. So we all have melanin but at different levels. But people that are black, that are really dark, melanin is then the number one thing that is being pushed to protect the skin. It's the same way you have a black child. The child falls down and it scrapes its knee. What happens? there is a scab, right? And the scab is created on the skin. The scab actually is a protective mechanism. What happens to a black child when the scab goes away? That wound, that scraped knee will be darker. Why? Because melanin pushed color to protect it. But as I said, melanin is not sophisticated to know which shade, brown or black you are. So this is why you get discoloration. When you have, so one of them is, Rebecca Farkas, Servus, hi. You know, Farkas can be a Hungarian name too. You know, I speak several languages. I speak so many languages, so I can go back and forth, but I don't want to do that. Okay, so here's what happens when you have ingrown hair, when you have hair that you don't want. Now let's move away from ingrown hair. Let's talk now about a black woman that suffers from hormonal imbalance, that suffers from PCOS. Hi, Yasmin. Hi. That suffers from PCOS. Yasmin is a nice name, so I don't know if you speak Arabic, but if yes, so you're welcome. Hello, ahlan usahlan habibti. Okay, so if you have PCOS, you have hormonal imbalance as a black person, and I can tell you statistically that 70% of American young women today suffer from one or another kind of hormonal imbalances. So women, in particular black women in particular, it happens to be that I see people in rural areas. Okay, thank you. In rural areas, have really suffered from PCOS, endometriosis, Hashimoto disease, diabetes, being overweight, and all this is in a package deal, and all this causes unwanted hair. So now, if you have unwanted hair, here's what happens. And I spoke about this yesterday. I gave a presentation. I will do this again because it's very fresh in my mind. What happens when you are 14, 15, you're 13? Today, girls get their periods already at 13, or 11 even. So your hormones start working, and then when you have a hormonal imbalance, that can start within a year of you getting your period. So you can be 11, and at 12 you can start having hormonal imbalances. I am not going to tell you what I personally think, why children today are so much more developed, and today an 18-year-old girl has very often full-grown breast or nearly full-grown breast, and has pubic hair and is developed as if she was 16 or 17. I believe that it has a lot to do with the food that we eat, but the hormones that's in the food and what have you. But that's for another conversation. So, but you get irregular periods, or you get very heavy periods, you have very heavy clots. These are the signs that you have hormonal imbalance, and you are starting growing unwanted hair. Now, what happens when you grow unwanted hair? So when you grow unwanted hair, at first you don't know as a young person. Okay, I'm sorry, I stopped, guys, for a minute because Rebecca Farkas, Servus Sivem, just said something and I was reading it, so I have, okay, I will not keep you in suspense. I was born in Czechoslovakia, and it's just this young lady was so happy that I pronounced her name correctly. My grandmother came from Hungary. My grandfather was born in Vienna. My mother's tongue is German. We spoke German, but because I was born in Czechoslovakia and I was forced, so I learned Hungarian because my family didn't want me to understand. They spoke Hungarian. German was my mother's tongue. My mother in German school, so we all spoke German. Then in school I learned Russian, Mother Russia at the time, that I had to speak Russian. Then Slovak and Polish is very close. So you have several languages already in there. And then I traveled all over the world and all over. So I speak many different languages after that. But I just had to say this because why I knew that Farkas is Farkas. Okay, so going back to the hormonal imbalances in young black girls, and so you have either irregular periods or you have very heavy clots. You start growing unwanted hair. What do you do? And please, ladies and gentlemen, I don't give a shit, pardon my French, about all that alphabet that is out there. I can speak as a woman, and I'm 100% a woman. I can tell you categorically, no girl, particularly a girl that just goes through puberty, wants to look like a man. No girl wants to have all facial hair, have a beard because she has hormonal imbalances. But what happens is so many young people, so many young girls, so many young parents don't know what this is because the parents themselves don't know. And particularly if you live in rural areas like Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arizona, even part of Texas, Virginia, North Florida. These are areas that absolutely are rural, and there is very little help for women that suffer from hormonal imbalances, even less help for black women because there is no education in America when it comes to black skin. Black and white skin is in dermatology treated exactly the same way. So when a guy or a girl graduates school, they know very little about the difference between black and white skin, which by itself is a crime. But when you are in a rural area as a young girl or as a young mother of a teenager, you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go. So now peer pressure is very big, and marketing on Instagram and from the stupid influencers that know nothing, and they put filters and put a lot of makeup, and they are beautiful maybe, and then they market you garbage and shit, and they sell you things that don't work, but you believe them. And then because that's what it is, because this is how American society is built today, is believing anything and everything that is out there that anybody tells you, because they don't want human beings to think. They want to make robots, so you don't think for yourself. So you see somebody on Instagram tells you that this machine is a laser hair removal machine and it can take the hair away. You will find a way to buy the machine for $700 and the machine will not work, but you buy it because what do you know? You don't know, you just say a beautiful influencer told you how wonderful the machine is. And you know, that makes me extremely angry. This is why I will never allow any influencer to come and speak on my behalf. You know how many times people approach me? I have 10, 20 approaches a day. Oh, Eva, would you like, Eva? No, I wouldn't like. I speak my mind. As long as I can speak, I speak for myself. And I will speak exactly what I feel and exactly how I feel, and the truth, and my truth, and the truth. Factually, those are the truths. So influencers are a cancer to society, to human beings, to young girls, because they know absolutely nothing, but they do advise. Why do they advise? Because they are getting paid by some China shitty company. So the China manufacturer makes money. The influencer makes money because somebody picked her up here. So there's an importer that buys this shit from China. Then that importer gets the influencer who is hungry, who wants to make money, and she sells it. So the influencer makes money, the importer makes money, and the China manufacturer makes money. You pay the price. You are the sucker. Why? Because these things do not work. These things cannot work. And whether it is a laser machine that they are selling you, or it is an electrolysis machine, or it is a lightening product, whatever it is, these things, it's only about hype and about marketing. So let's go back now to what happens to a young girl. So you are 13, you are 14, you are 12, and now there's peer pressure, and you have a lot of hair on your face. So what do? The first thing that every woman will do, every woman has one arsenal, and then no matter how young you are, you have a tweezer, everybody has a tweezer. You start tweezing, right? And when you tweeze your hair, what happens, guys? What happens when you tweeze your hair? So the hairs that you feel or see, you will take them out. But be honest. Now, be 100% honest, not with me, because I know the truth, I'm a woman. I know the truth, and I see clients, and I can tell you any patient, a client of mine that did it, I can tell you they did it. What do? Because we also do this when we have hair, we have a tendency to play with our skin and fear. What do you do when you feel you have a hair? and you can't get it with a tweezer. You will take the damn tweezer, and now you will go and you will dig into the skin until you get the damn hair. Now, what happens to a black person? When you dig into the skin, like you are digging, when you dig into the skin, you know what happens? Immediately by digging, you are creating an infection, you are creating inflammation. And what does inflammation do to black skin? What happens? Yes. It pushes melanin, because the melanin is now going to protect the wound that you created. So you will have a scab, you will have the inflammation, the infection eventually will go away. Once the scab falls off, it will be a black dot, much darker than your skin. And this is how you start creating more and more discoloration on your skin, because you are injuring your skin as a black person. You're injuring your skin. Okay, there comes the say. So we have tweezers. So we know what tweezers do. Now we know why we get black spots all over our skin, because it's the damn tweezer that is doing it, because you are trying to get the hair. Okay, so now you are saying, no, I'm not going to tweeze anymore. I'm going to wax. Yay, I found the solution. I'm going to wax the hair. Ladies and gentlemen, wax is not a new process. Before I came to the United States of America, I knew about waxing, and I waxed my legs, I waxed my daughter, I waxed everybody, because, and we used sugar. So sugar and lemon. But this is not new, wax is not new. But here is the huge difference between a white person and a black person when it comes to waxing. When you wax a black person's face, you apply the wax. The wax is usually warm, so it's hot. You apply the wax, so first of all, the heat is no good for the skin. Secondly, after you apply the wax, you yank it. Now what do? When you yank it, now you yank the hair that were sitting inside the hair follicles. And when you yank the hair that are sitting inside the hair follicles, there is a vibration. So if this is the skin on the surface, this is your hair, and you yank it, there is a vibration down here. What happens when there is vibration? In order for you guys to understand really what happens, I have to give you one more step so you're clear about it. This is your skin, this is your hair follicle under the skin. Down here, at the bottom of the hair follicle, there are two blood vessels. Two blood vessels that are connected to every human hair follicle. Every human hair follicle is connected with blood vessels. These blood vessels here are the ones that are responsible for your hair on your head or anywhere on your body to live. Why? Because these blood vessels carry blood. What does the blood carry? It carries oxygen, it carries nutrition, food, and it carries also hormones. So now what happens? When you have, I'm sorry, my dog is barking. When you have, he's very old and senile. When you have a wax situation where you yank the hair and you already have a hormonal imbalance and you already have more testosterone, elevated testosterone, by the vibration of yanking the hair, you're allowing more blood flow to go into that area. Now, do you remember what I just said a second ago, that the blood vessels carry food, oxygen, and hormones? So when you yank the hair, you're actually allowing more blood supply to the neighboring hair follicles. You are allowing more hormones, elevated testosterone, and it's like you're putting seeds, you're putting more food to the other hair follicles that are neighboring that same hair follicle that was just yanked out. That's just one thing. So you're actually stimulating more hair follicles. Two. What happens? Because you are yanking, and the moment that you are yanking, and when you repeat waxing, and waxing is done every week, every 10 days, when you repeat that, you are creating discoloration because you are irritating the skin. What happens? Skin sends messages to the brain, says, brain, help me, I have a problem, what am I going to do? And the brain says, okay, push more melanin to protect the skin. And every black woman, categorically, that waxed more than 5 or 7 times knows that I am right. That if you wax your upper lip, if you wax your chin, it is darker than it was before you laid the wax on your face ever before. I stake the one life that I have on this, that what I am telling you is factual. Why do I know? Why am I so secure about myself? Because I do this for 40 years in America. And I did it before I came to America. And so I know so much about human skin, and I know so much about black skin. I know it. I understand it. So when this happens, when you are waxing, you're hurting your skin. So you're hurting your skin when you are tweezing. You're hurting your skin when you're waxing. Well, now will come Indian people to you, and they will tell you, oh, threading. Let's do threading. That is not waxing. That is not tweezing. Let's do threading. Do you know there's an expression? I will try to translate it to English if it makes any meaning to you. It's like when you take sand and you throw sand in somebody's eyes. That's approximately the same way that what Indian people or Pakistani or whoever is doing threading. They are throwing sand in your eyes and trying to make an idiot out of you. And majority of people, in principle, don't understand the difference. I was say, oh yeah, because she said that it's much better. Threading is not waxing; it will not hurt you. Well, then let's do threading because this will not hurt. Well, I have news for you guys. Threading on black skin is equivalently as bad as is waxing as tweezing. Why? Because what are you doing? You're doing exactly the same thing. You're yanking the hair, but with a different method. On top of that, on top of yanking the hair, you're not only yanking the hair, but the thread goes, scratches the top layer of the epidermis, scratches your skin. Hi, Dawn. Hi, honey. Scratches the top layer of your skin. So when that happens, you're not only hurting outside, you're only hurting inside. So now we know threading is no good, waxing is no good, and tweezing is no good on dark and black skin. It's a no-no. So tweezing on white skin is also no good, categorically, no good, because it will do the same thing. The only difference is when you wax a white person, because there is very little or low melanin, you wax it, it will be pink, right? You wax and then your skin is pink. So even if you wax and you burn or you remove the top layer of the skin will not get as discolored, thank you. The skin will not get as discolored on a white person who is Arabasta white as it will obviously on a black person. So white people can wax the same results for waxing for unwanted hair the same way as it will grow in a black person, because the hair follicle is stimulated at the bottom. It's the same thing that we will do on a white person. It's just that the white person has one advantage, that it will not discolor, it will not get dark. However, if you have hormonal imbalance, if you suffer from PCOS, if you have a 5 o'clock shadow at 2 o'clock as a white woman, even with blonde hairs, and you're constantly waxing, that area will become darker. Okay, I don't know what glass shape is, but stay tuned, because I will come now. The next subject is going to be shaving. I'm going to explain something. It's going to be mind-opening for everybody to learn from me. What I'm going to tell you, how you should remove hair and what you should do. My earrings hurt. Okay. So here is what you have to do. So we know on black skin or white skin, but we are talking about black skin, no waxing, no tweezing, and no threading. What is the one method that works 101% and will get rid of the unwanted hair for good? That's laser hair removal or electrolysis. And I want to break this down. And I want to explain you why this is and what the difference is between the two, between laser and between electrolysis. But first of all, do understand that for black skin, there's only one laser in the world approved by the FDA, and that's N like Nancy, D like David, and then Yak. Y like York, A like Upper, G like Gina. And the Yak, that is the beam, the laser beam. That beam is the only FDA approved beam for black skin anywhere in the world to treat when you do laser hair removal for black skin. Why is this the only laser? Here, because this NDI laser is the longest beam, penetrates the deepest and the fastest from any laser. So when you apply the laser, what is laser? It's a columnized beam of heat and light. So when the laser beam goes in, it goes very, very fast. It's like in a millisecond. It goes very fast in. So it surpasses actually the melanin of the skin. Now, if you don't know what you do, you can burn the skin too. But let's just say generally, if you are qualified, if you know what you do, NDIAG is the only laser that will not destroy the pigment of the skin. But there's a very interesting thing that everybody should know. There is a huge difference between black and white skin. Now pay attention to what I'm going to say. What white people can do to their skin, black people never can. However, what black people can do to their skin, white people always can. Did you understand what I said? And I will back it up and I will explain you. So black people can only be treated with NDIAG laser. White people can be treated with NDIAG laser, no problem. It will work because the laser, the beam itself is attracted to the melanin, the color of the hair. But every other, whether it's a diode laser or a alexandrite laser, cannot be used on black skin, can only be used on white skin. So remember, because black skin and white skin are completely different and have to be treated so in skincare, so with skincare products, and so with lasers, and so with electrolysis. Black skin has to be treated completely differently. Why? Because black skin is very, very sensitive because it has melanin. So that's number one. Number two, because contrary to white skin, when we drink water, we hydrate. When a black person drinks water, they lose the water, they perspire very fast. So black skin loses hydration. White skin doesn't lose hydration. So there's a big difference between one and the other one. And so when you treat black skin, you have to treat black skin correctly with the appropriate equipment, with the appropriate products. But you can 101%, whatever you are using on black skin, in treatments and in lasers, you can use on white skin, just not vice versa. So YAG laser is the only laser that is approved and suitable for black skin. Now, there is electrolysis, and a lot of people don't know the difference. A lot of people say, oh, Eva, I heard that electrolysis is permanent and laser is not permanent. It is incorrect. The statement is incorrect, and I will tell you why. And just stick to me, because guys, the education that I am giving you right now, nobody in this world will give you the detailed education that I am giving you. What I am sharing with you, you will not find in any books. You find it from me, because it's my life experience, it's my life's work. So I'm going to tell you the difference between white people or establishment would say, oh, electrolysis is permanent, laser isn't. It's incorrect. So electrolysis was invented 127 years ago, and in Europe, an electrolysis is a method by which you insert a needle into the hair follicle. So you have to have the hair outside, and if this is the hair and this is my needle, I will go, the hair will be my guide, and I'm inserting a needle, and I'm going with the needle all the way down to the hair follicle, down, where there are the blood vessels, and I will release heat through the needle down to the follicle, and I will cauterize the blood vessels, and I will destroy the hair follicle. But there is a caveat. I can only kill the hair follicle when it is in the growing stage. And this is what nobody will tell you, this is what nobody will educate you about. Understand this, human hair, black or white, makes no difference. Human hair grows in cycles and in stages. A full cycle of your hair growth is 3 months. In this 3 months period, you have 3 stages: the anagen, the growing stage, the catagen, the in-between, and the telogen, the sleeping stage. So pay attention to what I'm saying. It's cool, but it's wonderful school, and I'm making it very sensible for you. So when you insert a needle, and pay attention, insert a needle into a hair follicle, and that hair follicle is not in the growing stage, you will not kill the hair follicle. Why? Because in order for a hair follicle to be destroyed with either laser or electrolysis, the hair follicle in growing stage means one thing. Hair follicle in the anagen stage equals water. You know that the human body is over 70% water. So when the hair follicle is in the growing stage, the whole follicle, if this is the skin, this is the hair under the skin, all this is surrounded by water. The water is actually a medium, a carrier that allows this reaction that happens at the bottom of the hair follicle between the blood vessels, because cauterization and destroying the hair follicle. The water has to be present. That water is only present in a hair follicle in a full cycle 2 weeks out of 3 months. 2 weeks out of 3 months. Which means what? Which means what? That whether you use laser or use electrolysis, it is permanent, but it's not a one-time treatment. And because America is still very, very backwards, and listen, I live in Florida, I go to Georgia once every 5 weeks to treat patients. And I can tell you that Georgia is about 100 years backwards to Florida when it comes to skincare and lasers, etc., etc. And so I guess that if you go to Mississippi and Alabama and Tennessee and North South Carolina, you're in prehistoric times. And because in America, every state has their own rules and regulations, this changes, and it's not across the board, one information across the board for everybody. So even education that you would get in Georgia is completely different than in Florida. It's just reality of it. This is why I tell you guys, what I share with you is so valuable. One day, all of you will realize when I'm not going to be here anymore, you guys will realize how truthful, how valuable my information was when I share this with you, because they don't share this information, they don't teach you, and there's a lot of misinformation in America. Dawn, I didn't forget you. I will come to the shaving. I promise you, just stay on. I just have to explain everything and explain to people that they have to understand that electrolysis and laser are both permanent, but they are not one-time treatment, because both modalities have to get the hair in the growing stage. And so it doesn't matter, you can do merengue cha-cha-cha from here to King Baktu. If the hair is not surrounded by water, it's not anagen stage, nada, zero, garnished, shemit, that's it, voila, nothing. Okay? Now, because in America, just understand something, guys. So I lived in America 40 years. My license by the Board of Medicine in America, in Florida, is number 46. My license reads 46. Do you know what licenses read today in Florida? They start over $500,000 and up. So that just must tell you how long ago I came. And understand that when I came to America, you didn't need a license to do electrolysis. You didn't. It came later on that they realized more people came from Europe, and this is actually a European and Eastern European profession. So more people came and they started, and then they realized that something has to be done. And so when Florida started to create a licensing principle for electrolysis, they actually asked me if I would consider Intalasi to come and write the curriculum. I said, absolutely not. I'm not a corporate person. I'm not a government person. I'm an independent person. No, nada. Dicevo, that's it. So I said, no. Was not my cup of tea. That's not what I wanted to do. So I didn't. However, this is my license. So so that was for electrolysis. Then later, like 20 years later, came laser, because we are so backwards from rest of Europe, is that they didn't update the information, and so many places by design or by laziness or by carelessness or by lack of information still did not update the information to state that laser hair removal and electrolysis are both permanent method of hair removal. They are just not a one-time method of hair removal. You have to repeat the treatment for that very simple reason. You have to get the hair in the anagen stage, in the destroyable stage, which means anagen stage 2 weeks out of 3 months equals water. That's it, period, done. Now I'm coming to what Dawn wants to know, and that is shaving. So what can everybody do that has hair? So that's for white people and for black people. And I am concentrating on black people because that's my forte, that's my specialty. This is what I do. However, this information about shaving, and generally that I speak, is information for everybody. It's good for everybody. So just listen to this. Every human being, every woman that has unwanted hair, in particular on your face, on your vagina, on your inner thighs, on your tush, or under your arms, on your belly, or wherever it is, and you want to get rid of it, what is the best way to shave? Follow me carefully. You will go to Walmart, Target, dollar store, I don't care where you go, and you will buy a 5-blade razor. 5-blade razor. The disposable razors. The 5-blade razors are in there and they're diagonal like this. So there are 5 blades and they're diagonal. So what happens is this. And I know every woman has hair conditioner at home. Just pay attention though. You are going to put, if it's your face, wherever it is, make it wet with warm water. Then take hair conditioner and put the hair conditioner on your face. Not shaving cream, hair conditioner. You put the hair conditioner on warm skin. And then you take the 5-blade razor and you shave. You shave in the direction that the hair grows. You shave. What you will achieve, first of all, you shave, it will be smooth. Numero uno, you are not damaging your skin. The skin is not dry. The hair is puffed up because you put warm water on it, number one, and you put a hair conditioner. Ladies and gentlemen, what does hair conditioner do for our hair? Why do we wash our hair and put hair conditioner? It softens it. How does it soften it? Plumps it up. It softens it. But it's exactly what the hair will do on your face when you put it, face, bikini, underarm, wherever you put. Hair conditioner is the only way you shave with, and a 5-blade razor. Now, why 5-blade razor and not 2-blade razor, 1-blade razor? Simple. Every girl went to the hairdresser. You know, when your hairdresser cuts your hair, she usually takes scissors and she cuts at an angle, like this. She doesn't cut straight, she cuts like at an angle. Not straight, not like this, but at an angle. And then the hairs at the end are like points. They are not like a tube, but they are like points. What does that mean? That means that this hair that has been cut now is with 5-blade razors. When it grows out, because you cut it at an angle, when it grows out, it will not grow out like a tube, and you will feel it prickly and hard. it will be very soft and it will have only one very thin angle because you cut it with 5 blades. Do you get it, Dawn? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand, guys, what I'm saying? 5-blade razors, hair conditioner is the solution. Now, one more difference between laser and electrolysis. I'm so hot now. One more difference between laser and electrolysis. For laser, you must have the hairs shaved before you go for laser. For electrolysis, it's exactly the opposite. You cannot touch the hair. Between treatments, the hair has to grow out. So you have to have long hair. The hair has to be long enough, at least like 3-4 millimeters, that I can put a tweezer on your hair. Now, why electrolysis principally becomes obsolete against laser? I'll tell you why. Electrolysis, first of all, it's painful, and if anybody tells you that electrolysis is not painful, they are lying to you. Electrolysis is painful. Why is it painful? Because you insert a needle into the hair follicle. Once you insert a needle, you press on the foot pedal, and heat goes through that needle into the hair follicle. That hurts. Now, the difference, even in addition, and more painful for black people, because in life everything is give and take. So, every black person that has black hair, or white person that has black hair, you only want to do laser hair removal. So if you are black or you are white, you want to do laser hair removal. I'll explain you why. Laser is fast, and if we say 1 to 10, what's the difference in pain? So laser will be a 3 on level of pain or discomfort. Electrolysis will be a 10 on level of pain. So why would I, and then laser is fast, so I can do your chin in 5 minutes with laser. If I have to take 300 hairs out with electrolysis, I have to sit for an hour and a half on you. And an hour and a half, I have to poke you. It's misery. But who needs electrolysis? Black and white people need electrolysis if they have white hairs. Because laser doesn't see color white. Color white is neutral. Laser doesn't see color white. So what happens? When you have white hairs, you're not a candidate for laser. For laser, you must have dark color. If you have white hairs, whether you're black or white, the only method to remove the hair permanently, but it's not a one-time treatment, is with electrolysis. Because electrolysis doesn't care about the color of the hair. It actually is attracted to the protein, to the hair, not to the color. Laser is attracted to the color. So you cannot do laser if you have white or blonde hair. Then you can only do electrolysis. And the additional difference between black and white people when it comes to electrolysis is the needle. And I promise you this. If there are 3 people in the United States that know the difference between electrolysis for black skin and white skin, it's a lot. So there's a special needle that's made in Great Britain for black skin. And that needle is made in a very different way for black skin. Why? Because a needle that's made for white skin, when I push this, when this is under your skin, and I press on a foot pedal, there will be heat that will be dispersed in the whole needle from the insertion point, from here, from the insertion point, all the way down here. But if I use this same needle that I use on a white person, on a black person, remember I said the heat dispersed from the insertion point? Guys, what would happen when I insert a needle for white person on a black person? You know what happens? You burn the skin around here because this is hot. This is hot, so it burns. On white skin, you don't burn it. It's white, so you don't burn it. But on black skin, you will burn the melanin. You will burn the skin. Therefore, there is, in Great Britain, there is a needle that's made in Great Britain for electrolysis for black people. And that needle is a special needle that actually has no heat. When you insert it, there's no heat here. So you're not burning the skin. The heat will be no heat anywhere here, only here at the tip of the needle. But you know, in life, everything is give and take. Because that needle has no heat here, but heat goes through the electricity that I push the feedback, heat goes. So instead the needle being dispersed all the way, it's only dispersed, accumulated here, and a black person will feel the pain 10 times more than a white person, because the heat is all exploding just here, so you feel it, so it's more painful. But we have give and take. We have to protect black skin, not burn it, so you get it at the bottom. And I heard you. So I would say this: if you're a black person, do not wait until you have white hairs. Start doing laser removal as soon as you can. You're a teenager, you are in your teens, you are in your 20s. As soon as you have hairs, stop plucking, stop tweezing, stop waxing. You do whatever you have to do. Listen, it's not the cheapest thing, but it's not the most expensive thing. Young people today spend money on so much garbage, and so much shit, if I think about it, that it is not the end of the world for a teenager to put the money together. So don't buy garbage, don't buy shit, don't buy shoes, don't buy handbag, don't buy 10 Starbucks coffee with 7 words for that one coffee and pay $8 for a cup. Don't do that. Save your money. And go once, if you cannot prepay for it, then it will cost you $300-400 once every 5 weeks. Not the end of the world. And do laser hair removal. Get rid of the hair, so you protect your skin. Now let me take it the next step. There is one other thing that is very common. It's mostly, it happens in white people, but it mostly happens in black people. And this is probably the worst disease that, and the most painful disease and most debilitating disease that a woman can have, or a man, and that's called HS. HS is hidradenitis suppurativa. HS starts from one ingrown hair. One ingrown hair. There must be a genetic disconnect. And when a black person, you can never tell who will get it. A lot of people don't have it, and a ton of people have it. You cannot tell. Medicine cannot tell you why HS happens. But we know how it happens, and from what. It happens from one ingrown hair. And something happens genetically, something is stimulated in the human system, and once one HS happens, you are screwed for the rest of your life. Why? Because every hair follicle can become an HS hair follicle. And what does that mean to you? What does it really mean? I would caution and actually ask every one of you that is listening to me now or later on. Google, say, I want to see pictures of HS in black skin, underarms, bikini, tush. And go look what it does to human body. And I can tell you that it's probably in the skin disease and the hair disease, one of the worst, most horrible skin conditions that they are. They are painful, they stink, it smells very, very bad, and you have no life. Your life is not the life that you were meant to have. But you can stop it and prevent it. Maybe prevent it, if it never happened, by starting as soon as possible to do laser hair removal. And we know that if you have no hair follicles, you will never get HS. That's a fact. So, my suggestion would be, any mother, any sister, any grandma, anybody, of a black child, a black woman, a black teenager, anybody, put your money to work for you where it will help you for the rest of your life. Don't trust me what I tell you. Just go on Google and Google pictures. You want to see pictures of HS. Underarms, bikini, under the breast, anywhere you have hair, and see what HS does to you. And then you will understand when I said that you should invest your money in your well-being and in your health. It's the first thing. Because, just in general, When you have HS, it's a disease where, let's say you have a hair follicle here. How it happens, we don't know, because if we knew, we could stop it. We know it happens because of the hair follicle, but something happens genetically in the hair follicle where it becomes ingrown. And so, let's say this is an ingrown hair, where now this HS, here, it creates like little cells, like a Play-Doh, And now you have two follicles, one is here, one is here. And this Play-Doh now, and it's sort of like a braid, spiral. It came to this hair follicle. And now it attached itself to this hair follicle from here to here. And now it's pulling between this hair and this hair. And this line here, so between one follicle to the other follicle, this is what's happening. And this is like a braid. All this is inflamed, infected, creates very, very bad and poisonous pus in the area, inflammation, swelling, toxic blood, and you get abscesses around the area from one point to the other one. You get horrible, painful, you can't touch these abscesses. And at any time, this abscess bursts and it bleeds, and you can sometimes hold and quarter cup of pus will ooze out from this. It is the most debilitating, horrible skin condition coming from unwanted hair in the body. It can be prevented with laser hair removal. Now, there are 3 stages for HS. The stage 1, that's the beginning. It happened, you got one ingrown, it happened. You come to me and I start laser hair removal, and it will take us 2 years, and I will kill all your hair follicles, and 90% of the time we will be done with HS. You come in stage number 2, I can help you and I can work around the wound. I can't touch the wound because it's so painful. And you have to go from stage 2 to stage 3 because it's so debilitating. You can't lift your arm. It's under your arm. You can't lift your arm. You can't have sex. Nobody can touch you because you have these balls everywhere. And they ooze. You're embarrassed. You have them on your tush. You have them everywhere. You have to walk with thick pads of gauze, with tape everywhere, because they ooze. They ooze blood, they ooze pus. And when they ooze, they smell because it stinks. It's pus and toxic blood. It smells terribly. Can you imagine having sex with somebody when the pain and the smell, forget about it. Your life is not your life. The misery is horrible, horrible. And when you go to stage 2 and you have not met me, then the only solution you have between 2 and 3 is to see a surgeon. And whenever these happen, they have to excise them. When you excise them, you leave craters this big, because a surgeon has to go above the scar and underneath the scar, cut it open, excise this braid that's between the follicles, cut all that out, cut the follicles out, cut some of the affected flesh, cut it out, so now you're making a hole, and then you have to suture it up. And you have to do this for every single one of these abscesses that you get. And that's the only solution that you have. What kind of life is that? It's horrible, but can be avoided, particularly in black people. It can be avoided. Do laser hair removal. I'm sorry, guys. Mommy banged on the table. Shh! Jessica, stop! So, this is something that's super important for everybody to know. That black people disproportionately are affected by HS. And if you want to eliminate this problem, you make sure that you do laser hair removal as the first thing that you do for yourself when you spend money. And the last thing I want to tell you is this. Anybody that listens now, anybody that will listen in the future. I do this in America over 40 years. I would love to have 50 or 100 people in America that would learn from me, would take over the baton, and would open clinics to treat black skin. So I created a course. It's an online course. And you can learn from me. It's a course that I put 40 years of my knowledge and experience into this course. And anybody that, whether you're a physician, whether you're a nurse, whether you're a esthetician, beautician, cosmetologist, whatever you are, if you want to learn and you have the passion like I have to help human beings and to help people that don't have a voice and help them, please do understand, in America there's over 50 million black people. It's a huge market. And it's a pity that only I am the one that takes that whole market in and helps that whole market when I can't help 50 million people. But you could, anybody that has the desire wants to learn. So if you know anybody or if you yourself want to learn, I believe the link is in my profile about the course. And the last thing I want to tell you, because that was the before last, this is the last thing that I want to tell you. For the black woman, or the dark woman, or the Middle Eastern woman, or wherever you are, and ingrown hairs and unwanted hairs caused a lot of discoloration, right? So we went over it, I won't go over it again. Then what do? Please don't bleach your skin. Please don't use hydroquinone, which is possibly cancer-causing. So it took me 27 years, ladies and gentlemen, to create a formula for black skin to lighten the skin. And I created a formula. I created something. It's a kit. We called it a mini Eva skin lightening kit. It's the only kit on the market that in the world that can help get rid of the discoloration. It's not bleaching. It doesn't have chemicals in it. It's lightening. It's lightening and getting rid of the discolored skin. It's a slow and gradual process. It works very slow. But that's exactly what we want. When you have discoloration, particularly on black skin, you want to work very slow. Why? Listen to me. If this is your skin, my black pen, and then here is my skin. But here, the black pen is melanin. That's where melanin lies, between the bottom layer and top layer of the skin. This is where melanin is. You never want to put anything on your skin that would penetrate and stimulate melanin so that your skin will get more discoloration. This is what happens with bleaching. This is what happens with hydroquinone. This is what happens with all these chemicals that people buy and black people bleach their skin. You use the product, and once you use the product, it will block the tyrosinate, the responsible in the melanin that gives you color. It's blocking. But here's what happens. Remember how I explained it in a simplistic way, that when you have a wound, there's a message from the brain going to the melanin saying, melanin, protect, protect, protect. Where when you block the melanin, because now you use the chemical, and one of the chemicals will block. So melanin cannot come out. But melanin is being attacked, but it cannot come out. Guess what happens? So while you are attacking melanin and stimulating it, but you're not allowing it, you're blocking it, because there are chemicals that are blocking it. You're not allowing melanin to come out naturally, you're blocking it. It accumulates here. Under your skin, it accumulates, becomes big. And the moment you stop using melanin, you know what happens? You stop using bleaching and lightening and hydroquinone, dangerous stuff. You stop within a week. All this melanin that was here underneath, accumulated for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, that you were blocking it to come, it will explode. And when it explodes, guess what happens? Your skin will get darker than what you started with. So please don't buy and don't go for the quick fixes. Remember, in life, anything that is good, anything that's worthwhile takes time. Anything that's quality takes time. So the lightning, and I know in America everybody wants like tempo, quickly, and young people have no patience. They want instant rewards, but there are no instant rewards. This is life. It also takes 9 months to make a baby. There's no having instant in 2 weeks a baby. That's just life. You're dealing with the human body. You're dealing with human skin. So there is no, just doesn't work like it. Slowly, carefully, you will get rid of the discoloration. Might take you a year, might take you 2 years. It just depends how deep the discoloration is, how many shades darker you are, how much damage you cause to your skin. But my lightening treatment, which is, I have only 2 kits. I have the Mini Eva Skin Lightening and Mini Eva Advanced Skin Lightening. So with the Mini Eva Skin Lightening is for the face, and the Advanced is from the neck down for the body. So these are the only 2 kits that I have. And then if I see how discolored the skin is, then I also will tell you buy the oxygenated, ozonated serum that also takes away and helps to lighten the skin. So now I gave you the whole spiel. Now you know everything. Now you know what causes dark dots on skin, what causes dark dots, and what is the correlation between hair and dark dots and dark spots on the skin. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, you can always, so you can on YouTube or wherever you watch me, you can send me questions or DM me or whatever that is. You can also ask me, you can send me an email to medspa 33154@gmail.com, medspa, MEDSPA 33154@gmail.com. And you can also call me at 305-864-3333. You can do either way. You can ask me questions. I will always answer your questions. And if I don't know the answer, I will tell you I don't know. But you can also send me questions. If you send me questions, I can talk about these topics. I can bring up a question, and then I will talk about it in a video or live. I will take it, we will dissect it, and we will talk about it. But remember that no question is a stupid question, because as long as you want to know, that means you want to learn. So if you want to learn and I have the information, then I will share it with you. I want you to learn. I want you to better yourself. I want you to better your life. I want you to do the right decision for yourself. I want you to do the right thing. So, YAG laser for black skin only, the mandelic acid Mini Eva Skin Lightening Kit and ozone for discoloration, no tweezing, no waxing, no threading, only 5-blade razor, only with a hair conditioner. And you have my phone number. I will be next week, as of Thursday, in Georgia, in my clinic in Georgia. So anybody that listens now or later, and you are anywhere, so you can actually, people drive to see me from Virginia, Carolinas, or Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, or Tallahassee. People drive to see me in Georgia, because you ain't driving there. Yeah, it takes you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours to get to me. So what? I drive 12 hours every 5 weeks to go to Georgia to help you guys. Not a big deal. You're helping yourself, so you can drive, and it's affordable because you don't have to fly. Now, if you live in New York, in New Jersey, in Boston, in Chicago, in Dallas, in or Houston, New Orleans, or Arizona, you fly. But again, I opened the clinic in Georgia, so it should be cheaper and more affordable for you guys to fly. And Atlanta is higher than Miami, so the ticket is cheaper. So I have patients that come to see me from all over, all these states that I mentioned. It's people that come, they either drive or fly to see me every 5 weeks for laser hair removal. And they are black people, because they don't have anybody like me. And this is why I said I would love people to learn. I would love people to spread their wings and do what I'm doing. So there's a course. If you have any questions, please email me, text me, whatever. If you want to make an appointment to see me, 305-864-3333, and that would be good for Miami, good for Atlanta. I thank you so very much for staying with me. I don't know if you're still here. I don't know who is here, because I can't see. I just see the numbers are moving. I thank you very much. I thank you for the likes. Please share. If you think that this video provides value, then share this video with other people. Share them, let them know that they should watch this. Let them know that they should watch. I've had so many videos about so many topics. I am only human and I talk in a very human way. I don't have a script. I can't talk from a script. I only can talk from my heart. Okay? Thank you guys. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. Have a nice evening. Ciao, Eva.